I I thought about, okay, you know, this is a statement that nobody's really ever made. Like, this is a record that nobody has ever made. So with that, then I started to realize, okay, you know, we got something here that could be our version of Fight the Power, you know, in a lot of ways. Well, I remember the world before that happened, and then how I looked at the world after that happened.
Ice Cube was just 12 when his half-sister Beverly was tragically killed in 1981. Gun violence ripping through his world and shaping the way he saw everything. That early trauma hardened him, and you can see that edge follow him into adulthood. Once hailed as one of hip-hop's most respected voices, later controversies would twist public perception, marking a dramatic fall from grace. Let's dive in. The murder that changed everything. In 1981, 12-year-old O'Shea Jackson lived in South Central LA. His half-sister, Beverly Jean Brown, was 22, just a few blocks away, married to Carl Clifford Brown, a 27-year-old who dreamed of becoming an LAPD officer, but never made the cut.
And he didn't make the cut. And it really frustrated him a lot. And, you know, he just went.
During a domestic dispute, Carl held Beverly hostage inside their home. Police arrived, negotiations failed, and Carl shot Beverly dead. About a month later, he died by suicide. The couple had a toddler, barely 18 months old. Ice Cube has shared how Carl's obsession with authority and power left a lasting mark on him.
You know, I think this is like starting my distrust for people who want to be, you know, he was just really jacked up off all the power that the police had over people and what, you know, things that.
This incident ripped away part of Ice Cube's childhood innocence. It was a brutal introduction to the realities of violence, gun culture, and domestic abuse. He once said, "Your life can be taken away by somebody you know." And it wasn't some distant news story. Beverly lived just blocks away from where young O'Shea played basketball and ran around with neighborhood kids. Carl Clifford Brown craved power, the badge he never got. When rejected by the LAPD, he snapped, turning that rage inward against his own family. Ice Cube witnessed it all, the destruction unchecked ambition can cause. That bitter lesson would later fuel one of hip-hop's most controversial and influential tracks. But in 1981, O'Shea Jackson was just a 12-year-old trying to make sense of senseless violence. Beverly's death barely made headlines. She wasn't famous, just another young woman from South Central whose life was cut short. But for Ice Cube, it was personal. Part of his childhood was stolen that day. The carefree moments on his block evaporated, replaced with a new understanding. Violence could happen anywhere, anytime, for no reason at all. This tragedy planted the seed for the anger and social commentary that would define his career. South Central and the making of a voice. Before Beverly's death, Ice Cube's South Central childhood was a mix of warmth and lurking danger. It wasn't just crime and poverty. It was a living community with families, friends, and ordinary childhood joys. Ice Cube remembered it fondly, challenging the one-dimensional portrayals of the area.
It was full of a lot of families, you know, not too many single mothers. It was families up and down the block. Everybody had a lot of kids, so it was a bunch of boys on my block.
That vibrancy shaped who he became. He wasn't raised in despair. He was surrounded by kids playing normal games, but shadows loomed. Gunfire had already erupted on his block before Beverly's murder. The police weren't protectors, they were occupiers. His parents, Doris and Hosea, instilled discipline and awareness, recognizing the dangers around him. They sent O'Shea to a suburban high school in the San Fernando Valley, giving him safety and opportunity. Every day, young O'Shea rode the bus from South Central to manicured Valley Lawns, witnessing firsthand the stark contrast between communities. He saw inequalities others only read about, and that perspective fueled his art. He didn't just write rhymes, he asked hard questions about why life wasn't equal.
I did a speech when I graduated from the 6th grade. So I did like a graduation speech for our 6th grade class. So I was, I was always able to take my thoughts and put them on, express myself on paper. And
his talent for expression became essential. The trauma of losing Beverly, the anger at injustice, the stark neighborhood contrasts, they all needed an outlet. Writing gave him one. From school assignments to notebooks full of rhymes, eventually to stages and studios worldwide, Ice Cube found his voice. By 14, he was rapping in school. Those bus rides became mobile studios with notebooks and headphones in hand. By 11th grade, he wrote Boys in the Hood during class. That song, a cornerstone of gangster rap, came from a teenager documenting his reality, not paying attention to the teacher. The murder, the inequality, the exposure to violence, it all poured into his words. N.W.A, Eazy-E, and the Cost of Brotherhood. The formation of N.W.A would forever change American music. A group of young men from Compton and South Central reshaped culture, challenged free speech, and forced the nation to confront harsh truths about race, policing, and urban poverty. At the center was Ice Cube, armed with childhood trauma and the skills honed on those bus rides. He met Dr. Dre at 15 through Dre's cousin, Sir Jinx, who lived down the street. The connection was instant. Dre saw something in him: hunger, clarity, and the ability to turn experience into words that hit like a punch.
15, maybe 14 when I met Dre.
Yeah.
15 when I really started to hang with him, but I met him because his cousin lives right down the street from me. A guy who has produced some of my music before. His name is Sir Jinx. And we started out together. And his cousin is Dr. Dre.
Ice Cube's knack for writing became pure gold for the budding West Coast scene. He helped Dre and the world-class Wrecking Crew gain traction in L.A., penning verses that captured the raw energy of the streets. When Eazy-E came looking for music, Dre knew exactly who to send him to. Eazy wasn't like anyone Ice Cube had worked with before. He had an edge, a fearless, almost reckless energy. He wasn't interested in the soft rap dominating the charts. He wanted music that reflected the streets without sugarcoating anything. That shared vision was electric. Together with Dre, MC Ren, and DJ Yella, they built N.W.A. Ice Cube wrote most of the lyrics for Straight Outta Compton in 1988, giving the group his unmistakable voice. The album's most infamous track, Fuck the Police. Its roots trace back to Beverly's husband, the man obsessed with police power who killed Ice Cube's sister. 7 years later, Ice Cube's simmering anger found its outlet. The song started as a solo project, 3 verses ready, but Dre hesitated. He was doing weekends in county jail and didn't want extra heat from the sheriff. The track nearly got trashed. Ice Cube, frustrated, crumpled it up, but his friend Phoenix Field rescued it, smoothing the pages back into Ice Cube's notebook. That little act changed history. By the time they recorded the album as a group, everyone had their own beef with law enforcement. The personal became collective. MC Ren immediately grasped the song's power, telling Ice Cube, "This is huge," and huge it was. The FBI sent a warning letter to the label. Cops refused to secure concerts, and radio stations banned it. Yet, through word of mouth and bootleg tapes, the track exploded. Fuck the Police became a protest anthem that still resonates whenever tensions between communities and law enforcement boil over.
I thought about, okay, this is a statement that nobody's really ever made. Like, this is a record that nobody has ever made. So with that, then I started to realize, okay, we got something here that could be our version of Fight the Power, in a lot of ways.
Ice Cube understood the legacy he was stepping into. Public Enemy had paved the way with politically charged hip-hop, challenging listeners to think critically about race and power. Chuck D, KRS-One, Ice-T, these were his heroes, the ones planting ideas that could change the world. But success came with drama. Despite writing most of N.W.A.'s lyrics, Ice Cube wasn't getting paid fairly. By late 1989, he walked away over disputes with manager Jerry Heller and Eazy-E. The split was messy, public, and risky, leaving one of the hottest groups in music for a solo career. N.W.A. fired back with diss tracks. Ice Cube hit harder with No Vaseline in 1991, a legendary takedown targeting the group and Heller with surgical precision. Then came heartbreak. On March 26, 1995, Eazy-E died from age-related complications at just 30, only a month after revealing his diagnosis. Ice Cube and Eazy had begun patching things up, even talking about reuniting N.W.A. Cube visited him at Cedars-Sinai, but Eazy was unconscious. They never had that final conversation. Ice Cube has said he regrets it deeply, believing N.W.A. could have made another album if Eazy had lived. The death cemented another layer of tragedy in Ice Cube's story. First a sister, now a brother in arms, gone before unfinished reconciliation. In later years, he spoke of Eazy with respect, crediting his fearlessness for N.W.A.'s impact. The beef faded, leaving admiration and the weight of what could have been. The done, the grief, and the message. Beverly's murder gave Ice Cube a personal understanding of gun violence few ever have. These weren't statistics, they were family. His views on guns and violence come from lived experience, not theory. He's owned guns, understands self-defense, but draws a hard line between responsible ownership and reckless access that enables tragedies like his sister's death. In interviews over the decades, Ice Cube has been clear. Better background checks, mental health support, these could save lives. In 2018, on Real Time with Bill Maher, he said, "I'm not saying take the guns, I'm saying let's be smart. Maybe my sister would still be alive today." He also holds the music industry accountable, acknowledging rap and movies glorify firearms while society often ignores the deeper roots of violence. After tragedies like Uvalde, he's been vocal. When is enough enough? Ice Cube refuses to side strictly with gun rights absolutists or total bans. To him, the real problem is a society that abandons its most vulnerable. Democrats, Republicans, he calls out both when they fail to act. For over 40 years, he's demanded real solutions, not empty words. Legacy and survival. Ice Cube's story could have ended in bitterness, addiction, or an early death like so many peers, but he turned loss into purpose. After leaving N.W.A., he dropped America's Most Wanted, 1990, followed by Death Certificate, 1991, some of hip-hop's most politically charged albums. He transitioned to acting with Boys in the Hood, 1991, and later Friday, 1995, founded Cube Vision and co-created the Big Three Basketball League. He stayed active in activism, launching the Contract with Black America in 2020, navigating political controversies without compromising his voice. Family life remained strong. Married to Kimberly Woodruff since 1992, 4 children, including O'Shea Jackson Jr., who portrayed him in Straight Outta Compton. Even amidst death hoaxes and delays like Friday 4, Ice Cube keeps creating, performing, and speaking truth to power. The real tragedy wasn't his survival, it was Beverly's death at 12, a wound he transformed into decades of music, activism, and influence. Every verse, every interview about violence, every song challenging authority traces back to that loss. He never became another statistic. He turned grief into gasoline, pain into art, and built an empire from ashes. Ice Cube is alive, thriving, and unafraid to keep telling the truth. Beverly's memory is silent but omnipresent. Her life shaped the legend he became. Thanks for watching. Check out other cards on the